Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi became a general in the Grand Army of the Republic during the Clone Wars, as he led the Republic to many famous victories, beginning with the countering of the Dark Reaper project alongside fellow Jedi Anakin Skywalker and Mace Windu on planets such as Thrul, Renvar, Jabiim, and Raxus Prime. In these battles, Kenobi usually participated from the cockpit of his fighter tank, but also led from an LAATI while covering the evacuation of Renvar, and scouted from a speeder bike on Raxus Prime before a battle there. While Skywalker was ultimately successful in countering the threat, Kenobi was disturbed at Skywalker's cockiness over his victory. This was followed soon after by his brilliant leadership at the First Battle of Kamino, in which he led the Republic to victory. As his reputation increased, Kenobi earned the nickname The Negotiator for his brilliant diplomatic solutions as an alternative to fighting. Another testimonial to Kenobi's importance in the Clone Wars was that his likeness was used along with that of his apprentice in a hologram deployed on Republic shooting ranges to train clone sharpshooters in distinguishing between friendly and hostile targets. Kenobi would become part of what many Jedi refer to as the Old Guard, or a Jedi likely to be considered to be put on High Council. Kenobi was eventually dispatched with Skywalker, ARC Trooper Alpha 17, and another Jedi named Glaive and his Padawan Zul X to investigate the new chemical weapon known as swamp gas, used on Oma Dun. Kenobi and Glaive would often be at odds with each other during the mission. And during the mission, the group was attacked by Asajj Ventress and the dreaded bounty hunter Dirge. The ensuing skirmish saw Kenobi rescue Glaive from Dirge. But nonetheless, Glaive was beheaded by Ventress, who also cut off X's arm. Kenobi and X managed to resist against Ventress, even while being poisoned by the gas, until the timely arrival of Skywalker and Alpha 17. Kenobi and Skywalker eventually drove off the two assassins, saving Zul X, but they were unable to keep them from escaping or retrieve the antidote from them. After the incident in Oma Dun, Kenobi, accompanied by 4 nomadic Jedi Masters, Nico Doth, John Antilles, Noel Vernarni, and Master Fay, were dispatched to recover the antidote to the swamp gas used by the Confederacy on Oma Dun. Kenobi often felt like he was out of his league with these 4 legendary Jedi Masters, but Fay assured him that his knowledge of toxin to the mission would be invaluable. Once they arrived on Keita, where the antidote was believed to be, the group was ambushed by Dirge and Asajj Ventress. Vernarni was first to fall, when Dirge fired upon native workers, causing their pressure suits to explode. Vernarni's power kept the explosion from harming the group, but the strain was too much. Antilles went for Ventress, but fell when Dirge destroyed the bridge he was standing on, but Antilles survived. Doth was killed when Ventress collapsed the ceiling on him and had molten lava run down onto him. Antilles was finally killed while grappling with Dirge when the mercenary thrust him into a lava pit. Fay and Kenobi survived long enough to confront Ventress, who was in control of the antidote and was trying to escape with it to separatist-friendly space. Using the Force, Master Fay hurled shards of glass and metal at Ventress, catching the Dark Jedi in the throat with a large piece of debris. Believing that Ventress was dead, Kenobi and Fay set off to Coruscant. But Ventress was far from dead. She rose up to spear Master Fay in the back with a lightsaber. Mortally wounded, Fay survived long enough to ensure Kenobi's escape from Kiete with the antidote, then died in his arms. Unfortunately, the swamp gas would be modified to become a deadly chemical weapon called trihexylophene 1138 that would later decimate the forest of the planet Honogar. It was Obi-Wan Kenobi who fought courageously against battle droids and crushed the forces of Sand Hill and the Confederacy in the Battle of Muunilisnt, an early victory that would do much to build the warrior's reputation. The forces on Muunilisnt included the Muunilisnt 10 and a Lancer battalion, the later which Kenobi led into battle on 501K Lancer bikes. During the battle, Kenobi also managed to defeat Dirge in single combat twice, first ever leading his squadron of speeder bikes into battle, and then in the very command center of the Separatist leaders. Soon after the Battle of Muunilisnt was over, Kenobi was contacted by Jedi Master Doc Min Barak, who called for his assistance in the disastrous Battle of Hypori. Kenobi sent the Muunilisnt 10, led by Captain Frodo, to rescue the remaining Jedi task force from the newly revealed General Grievous. In the end, they were able to rescue 3 of the 6 Jedi. Ki-Adi-Mundi, Shakti, and Aayla Secura survived, but Tar Sher and Shayagi were killed by Grievous. Kit Couric was assumed dead, however he had simply entered a state of hibernation to recuperate from his fatal wounds. Kenobi was later partnered with his fellow Jedi Kit Fisto on his mission to Ord Sensis to end the production of JK-13 security droids on the planet. in addition to preventing the planet from falling to the Confederacy. Traveling with the barrister Doobly Snow, while Fisto worked in the desert with 4 arcs, Kenobi made contact with both the 5 ruling families of Ord Sensis and the Desert Wind Irregulars, trained and led by Fisto and the clones. While Kenobi and Snow tried to find a peaceful resolution to the problem, Fisto and his ARC troopers were preparing the Desert Wind troops for a guerrilla war, if necessary. In addition to his delicate negotiations with the ruling council, Kenobi helped preserve the position of Gimi Deras and worked to pierce the veil of intrigue surrounding the government's workings. Deciding that the time had come for more drastic measures, Kenobi and Fisto staged an attack on the members of the 5 ruling families, with Fisto pretending to be a dark acolyte from Count Dooku and Kenobi repelling him. While the ruse was successful, their theatrics was secretly revealed to the 5 ruling families by Asajj Ventress via an emissary. Expelled from the planet, Kenobi and Snow left, but Kenobi jettisoned into an escape pod to rendezvous with Fisto, though Snow later rejoined them after the ship was attacked and he took flight also in an escape pod. While working with the clones, Kenobi and Fisto began to understand more, and even taught them elements of the Jedi Flow exercise. Conducting a hit-and-run campaign against Sestian manufacturing and infrastructure facilities, Kenobi tried to prevent the loss of life. However, after an ambush of his troops, in which many Desert Wind fighters and Snow were killed, and with increasing pressure from the Supreme Chancellor to resolve the conflict or bombard Ord Sensis, Kenobi and Fisto planned a mission to knock out Sensis manufacturing. During the mission, Fisto was almost killed by Asajj Ventress, but was saved by Kenobi, who defeated the Dark Acolyte. Kenobi also constructed a rare light whip, which was used by Fisto during the mission. Upon returning from defeating Ventress, Kenobi received a message from one of the ARC troopers, Jango Tat, reporting that he had called in an orbital bombardment, which would have targeted the population centers due to Ventress's sabotage, onto his location, which was also the hideaway for the ruling 5 families. With them dead and with the Separatist plan revealed to be a fraud by both Jango Tat and Ventress, Ord Sensis was now able to negotiate a settlement. Kenobi also led troops during the infamous Battle of Jabiim. The Republic suffered heavy casualties and weren't prepared for the atrocious conditions on the planet. The Republic forces made great gains in the first weeks of the fighting until the commanding general Norkuna was killed. Soon after, Kenobi himself was believed dead after caught inside an exploding walker. In reality, Kenobi and Alpha 17 were captured by Asajj Ventress and taken to her fortress on Ratatak. Kenobi was tortured using a Sith torture mask that obscured his connection to the Force in an attempt to break the Jedi and show his uselessness to Count Dooku. Kenobi's ingenuity, however, led to the pair's escape. Throughout their captivity, Kenobi had used the little force power that he had to bend the pipes in the walls of his and Alpha's cell until they eventually burst. In the confusion, they liberated many of the prisoners before running into Ventress. After a brief lightsaber fight in which Kenobi made use of K-Neric's lightsaber, he and Alpha escaped the planet in a stolen fan-blade freighter, flying to Lith 4, where they briefly forced to hold off an army of bounty hunters hired by Ventress before being rescued by Anakin Skywalker and Ki-Adi-Mundi. Mundi had been assigned as Skywalker's master after Kenobi's presumed death. After the skirmish, Skywalker was given back to Kenobi, with Master Mundi relieved at having to no longer train such a headstrong student. Kenobi never forgot his captor, the deadly Asajj Ventress. As a High General, Kenobi took command of the Open Circle Fleet and the 3rd Systems Army, which included Clone Commander Cody's 7th Sky Corps. Towards the end of the Clone Wars, Kenobi Skywalker and Commander Cody took part in a number of successful and high-profile missions, including the Battle of Cato Nemoidia. Kenobi was also known to wear parts of Phase 1 Clone Trooper armor along with a jetpack and a Clone Trooper helmet similar to Commander Cody's. During the time of war, Obi-Wan's reputation and talent on the battlefield and his legendary diplomatic skills had him promoted to Jedi Master, and he was granted a seat on the Jedi High Council to replace Deepa Palaba, who had fallen to the dark side and was in a coma after a mission to Harun Kal. From his exalted position, Kenobi helped to develop the tactics of the Grand Army of the Republic and became one of the leading members of the Jedi High Council. Jedi Master Kenobi was able to witness the growing strain between the Chancellor's office and the Jedi firsthand. His position on the Council also allowed him to advocate the promotion of his Padawan Anakin Skywalker to Jedi Knight. After a tense debate with the rest of the Council, Kenobi finally convinced them to grant Skywalker his knighthood. But with this, Kenobi took the responsibility of covering for Skywalker's unorthodox actions that were frowned upon by the rest of the Jedi Council. During the initial stages of the Battle of Rendeli, Kenobi discovered the renegade Quinlan Vosk aboard the exploration vessel Tantivian 4. Voss had betrayed Dooku's trust, and the Count had sent Asajj Ventress and Tol Sukor to eliminate him. Ventress and Kenobi battled yet again, although this time the Dark Acolyte felt assured of victory. Riding a ferocious Rancor in pursuit of her nemesis, Kenobi and Voss escaped, but Ventress followed Kenobi back to Coruscant. Kenobi helped convince the Council of Reconciliation to re-accept Voss back into the Jedi Order. And that wraps up what Obi-Wan Kenobi did in his first year of the Clone Wars. This should bring you all the way up to the Battle of Christophis, and there was some things I had to leave out for time's sake, but that's a good summary of Kenobi's best efforts during the Clone Wars. And like I said in my last lore video on the Rebel Alliance Special Forces, I think this might become a good series, though, I mean, the only Jedi that I think would be interesting and have enough stories on them might be just Anakin, but I'll do more research for most of the Jedi Council members like Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, Mace. I'll see if they have enough stories in the first year of the Clone Wars for there to be a decent video on. I could also talk about Grievous's first year, Dooku's first year, or maybe even Dirge's first year. And I also wanted to talk about the Battle of Ord Cestus. There wasn't any visual representation for Ord Cestus, it was purely a book, and so there was no comic, there was no section on it in the 2003 animated show, so I just had to pull pictures from all over the place trying to get the point of the story. And also I used art, a lot of art in here, to not just Lucasfilm owned art like the 2003 animated show, but art made by individual artists, and I think I should mention that they own all the rights to that. Besides my own logo, I did not make anything in this video. Nothing visual is mine here, because I forgot to mention that in the Alliance Special Forces episode, and I should have, because that was mainly just fan art. And I have been gone for maybe a month, 2 months at this point, and that's merely because I got my setup rearranged, and now there is a new mic which should have better quality, and I did have a new intro, and I'm trying to put best quality forward now. I'm trying to make things more seamless, and I know probably one of the most subtracting factors from the videos are really the voiceover quality, because I do tend to stammer and mispronounce things, which I'm trying very hard to fix, and any time where I feel it is too noticeable, I cut out, and I do let a little bit too much slide, I'll admit that. But I should be back without a real serious video upload schedule, just meaning that I was trying to commit to 3 videos a week. I got out about 2 a week. I'm gonna try to get at least 1 a week, but now I have the whole summer, I have no schoolwork, I have nothing to do, and videos should be coming out more frequently, and there's no reason for me to feel demotivated anymore. I've been waiting a while to make another video. I first took off a week to see if this is something I really wanted to commit to, and I missed it. Now, after just filming the voiceover so far, I'm really excited to continue making videos. And that's all for today. If you like this video, of course, like it, subscribe, share the video around, help grow the channel, because currently we're extremely small, smaller than what you would consider a small YouTube channel, with subscribers just in double digits. But thank you for making it to this end of the video if you watched through the whole thing, and may the Force be with you.